Hey everyone, welcome to the show. It's hard to even grasp, right? Decades passing, families holding on to hope, not knowing the fate of their loved ones. And the truth is, their loved ones are gone, victims of this horrible person who just seemed to disappear.
Mhm.
It's chilling. We're going deep today into Lisa Olson's book, The Scientist and the Serial Killer. It's true crime, yeah, but it's so much more than that. Olson takes us into Dean Corll's horrific crimes in 1970s Houston and the incredible efforts to identify his victims even decades later.
Yeah, you really hit on something there. I mean, the darkness of the story, it's undeniable. But what struck me was Olson's ability to also illuminate the dedication, the absolute commitment of these individuals who refuse to let these young lives just fade away.
Right. And that's something we loved about this book, like reading about Sharon Derrick, this forensic anthropologist, and her team, how they just wouldn't give up. Years, sometimes with just fragments of bone, trying to bring answers to these families to give them some kind of peace. It's powerful stuff.
It is, and it underscores just how crucial forensic anthropology is. It's basically using skeletal analysis to identify human remains, often in legal cases. And in this case, it's essential to understanding the scope of Coral's crimes and giving a voice back to his victims.
Totally. And what's amazing is how Olson shows us like the evolution of forensic science over time. Derek and her team, they weren't just looking at old bones. They were using cutting-edge techniques, things that could reveal details about a victim's age, their health, even where they might have lived.
Right, analyzing bone density, looking at the chemical isotopes within the bones. These were advancements that really pushed the investigation forward, They were able to unlock stories that had been buried for years, and that's huge.
And then there's this other layer to the book that really got to us, which is the societal context, the Houston of that time. It's disturbing to think that so many young men could vanish, especially from marginalized communities, and it wouldn't cause this massive uproar, this sustained police investigation.
Exactly. And that's a crucial point. Olson doesn't shy away from that. She forces us to confront this indifference, this lack of attention, really. And it makes you think, right, about whose disappearances matter, whose stories get told.
Yeah, it's like these were teenagers, often labeled as runaways,
Yeah.
and that label, it almost made them invisible. And
Mhm.
that's something that allowed Corell to keep doing what he was doing for so long. It's a chilling reminder of how societal biases can have these really devastating consequences.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, are there similar vulnerabilities in our society today? Whose stories are we still overlooking? Whose disappearances aren't getting the attention they deserve? It's a question we need to keep asking ourselves.
Shifting gears a bit, one thing that really impressed us was Olson's ability to balance the science, the really detailed forensic work, with the deeply personal stories of the victims and their families.
Yeah, she does that incredibly well. You understand the complexities of the identification process, but
Yeah.
it never feels cold or detached. It's always rooted in the human impact, the emotional weight of what these families went through.
Right, you get both, the meticulous science and the raw grief, the desperate need for answers. And what's interesting is how the science, in a way, becomes this tool for reclaiming the identities of those who were so brutally dehumanized.
Exactly. It's like through the science, their stories are finally being told, their voices are being heard. And that's a powerful, powerful thing.
Now, talking about the difficult parts of the book, and I'm trying to be careful here not to spoil anything about the specific crimes or the outcomes of individual cases,
Yeah.
but the sheer scale of this tragedy, it's immense. It's hard to wrap your head around the number of victims, the years that passed between the murders, and when some of them were finally identified.
The timeline is definitely a key part of the story. Olson meticulously lays out the years of silence, the dead ends, the slow, painstaking progress in identifying these young men. And it makes you realize, right, the immense challenges investigators faced, especially before DNA technology became widespread. And you feel the agonizing uncertainty, the limbo that these families were trapped in for so long.
Yeah. And even though Olson handles the details with respect, the nature of Coral's crimes is, well, it's undeniably disturbing. It's a harsh reminder of the capacity for evil that exists in the world and the devastating ripple effects of violence.
Right. It's a heavy subject matter, no question. But Olson doesn't sensationalize it. Her focus is on the impact on the victims, on the efforts to bring them home, and that's what makes it so powerful, so important. It's a testament to the gravity of these crimes and the importance of uncovering the truth.
So to sum it all up, The Scientist and the Serial Killer is a powerful book, a really important book. We're giving it a 4.5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
The meticulous research, the way Olson tells the story, the focus on the fight for justice, it's a read that stays with you.
It really does, and it leaves you thinking about so many things. societal vulnerabilities, the power of forensic science, and that basic human need for answers, even when faced with something as horrific as this. Think about it. The dedication of these investigators, these scientists, contrasted with the initial indifference. It's a stark contrast, and it tells us something about the long, difficult road to justice.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So if you found this deep dive into the scientist and the serial killer interesting, hit that like button and subscribe. There's a link to buy the book on Amazon down in the description if you want to explore this story further.
And let's keep the conversation going. What resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We're unpacking a really tough part of true crime history here. But it's important to remember these victims, to acknowledge their stories, and to recognize the incredible work done to bring them some measure of peace. Share this deep dive with anyone you think might be interested in true crime, in forensic science, or in the ongoing pursuit of justice, even for those who have been forgotten.
It's a reminder, isn't it, that even in the face of darkness, there are people fighting for truth, for justice, and those stories deserve to be told.
They absolutely do. Thanks again for being here with us today. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.